LEARNigeria is an innovative citizen-led household assessment of learning in Nigeria. Initiated by the Education Partnership Center and modeled after the Annual Status of Education Report (ASA) pioneered in India. It is designed to generate empirical data on the foundational literacy and numeracy skills that Nigerian children possess, which can inform and inspire targeted interventions. The key objective of the LEARNigeria pilot was to develop and test a set of tools and processes to determine if and how citizen-led assessments of learning can be implemented in Nigeria, and how the evidence generated can strengthen Nigeria's education system. This phase also served to establish the key organizational delivery requirements, partnerships, tools, and processes required to implement CLA in Nigeria. The LEARNigeria pilot was implemented in Lagos and Kano states in 2015 by TEP Center in collaboration with the PAL network, public and private institutions, and community-based organizations. The survey methodology and processes were designed by TEP Center with support from the National Bureau of Statistics, while the test tools were developed by government institutions, practicing curriculum experts, and teachers. The field survey was implemented by volunteers recruited by community-based organizations working in the local communities surveyed. For the sampling design, 30 enumeration areas in each local government were selected, from which 20 households in each enumeration area were sampled. A total of 462 households with 893 children were surveyed in Lagos, while 507 households and 1,289 children were surveyed in Kano. In line with the general consensus that after 2 years of continued schooling, a child should be able to read and carry out basic arithmetic sums sufficient for subsequent learning, Grade 2 was selected as the benchmark for literacy and numeracy by our test development experts, who are well versed in the citizen-led assessment process. The need to test the pilot project in an indigenous language was identified based on national policy requirements, and the Hausa language was subsequently selected. Other indigenous languages will be added to future iterations of the assessment. The appropriate sampling technique was used in selecting the 2 states for the pilot study. 1 LGA was selected in each state, Kano and Lagos. The selection of the LGAs was based on their having characteristics of both urban and rural communities. Enumeration areas were then identified within the LGAs using the local government master sample developed by NBS. For the purpose of this pilot, 2 pre-test activities were carried out in each state, Lagos and Kano, following the drafting of the test and survey instruments. After each pre-test, reviews by the survey technical team and test panels were carried out to reflect observations from the field. Partner organizations were responsible for recruiting volunteers. Over 70 people were recruited for the survey exercise. The volunteers were literate and had obtained at least 5 credits, including mathematics and English language, at secondary school certificate level. It was also necessary that volunteers were literate in the local languages spoken in the communities. The partners were involved in training, managing, and coordinating volunteers during operations. They also helped with securing approvals where necessary for data collection and access into households. A total of 72 volunteers were trained. 10 supervisors were also trained to guide the volunteers in survey implementation. There was a household mapping listing and sample selection exercise, which was used as a medium to inform households of the purpose and objectives of Learn Nigeria and enable volunteers to get practical experience in reading EA maps and identifying their boundaries. This exercise was carried out by volunteers in conjunction with the Learn Nigeria team and field staff from the NBS. The volunteers also visited one private and one public school within the LGA for a school listing exercise. After the assessments, the Learn Nigeria data recheck was carried out by the core team and trained supervisors in 2 phases: secretarial recheck and field recheck. Community and stakeholder meetings were organized to present preliminary results and initiate a call to action. The success of citizen-led assessments such as Learn Nigeria
It was a very wonderful experience, and we had
is largely due to the efforts of committed volunteers who seek to improve the quality of education within the local communities.